Welcome back to the Untitled blog. I believe this is episode number 9, and today's going to be a good one. Um, as I usually think, or I'm inside of my head thinking about thoughts of what to talk about. A lot of these topics I actually get when I'm either brushing my teeth or I'm in the shower. And the other day I thought about this topic, which we'll get into in a second. But I thought about it the other day, and it kind of made sense to me as I go through my life and think about some of the people that I've come across and some of the people that I've found intriguing. But before we start, be sure to go over on Instagram and follow me at KOATS and then the letter C. KOATS and the letter C. On top of that, be sure to go through. I believe I posted a video yesterday about my smoothies. I know some people have been asking about some of the smoothies that I post on my Instagram page, so I made a random video. The quality is not that great. I need to actually find a stand to hold my phone. I think I was filming it with my phone. But anyway, today's topic is diversification. Diversification. So what do I mean by that? Most of the times when you hear about diversification, either I can't pronounce that, or it's a tongue twister, or it just sounds weird. Diversification. So most of the time, when you hear that word, you think about somebody's portfolio, whether they're investing or they're trying to spread out their money to get the most bang for their buck when they're buying in or investing in companies. But when I think about the word diversification, I think about people. And so what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is I've come across, like I said, I've come across some cool people. I've traveled around the world. I've lived in different areas, and the people that I run into and the people that I remember, they're very intriguing, very interesting. Some of them are funny. Some of them are just there's something about them. And as I started thinking about this, well, I think I was brushing my teeth. The word diversification came to my mind. And I started analyzing, and I was like, wow, it makes sense. The most intriguing people seem to have or seem to be diversified. How are they diversified? Right in between here. Now think about it. How many parties have you been to? How many people have you run into? How many events have you gone to? And you start talking to somebody, and they can only talk to you about one thing. It's usually the weather. So you go to an event and you start talking, oh yeah, how's the weather, man? The weather's great outside. Oh yeah, it's been a warm one. They only have one topic to talk about. How many times have you run into somebody or let's see, what's another idea? Well, how many times have you met somebody new, and the only thing that they can talk about is the news? Nothing else, the news. So when I take the definition of diversifying, or diversification, what I mean by that is it is so important for people to diversify their minds. Be able to have a conversation about more than one topic. Be able to hold a conversation with somebody that is talking about something way outside of what you know or what you understand. Now, that doesn't mean that if somebody starts talking pre-calculus, which pre-calculus is way over my head, I understand how to count money though. But when people are talking about pre-calculus, have just a little bit of an idea of what they mean. That doesn't mean you're an expert at pre-calculus, but that at least be able to, if they say a word, oh yeah, I understand what you're talking about. Some people just are, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful or negative way, but some people are just so clueless. When I meet people, uh, I don't care what I bring up. I talk about anything, and I think that is just because I take the time to just learn about everything. Sometimes I throw on Animal Planet just so I have an understanding of animals. Sometimes I read a business magazine just so I have an understanding about business. Sometimes I read books about taxes so I can have an understanding about taxes. And why is that so important? Because if I'm out, we'll just say golf, for example, I play quite a bit of golf and I meet quite a few people. You're golfing with somebody for 3 or 4 hours. And if the only thing you can talk about with that person is golf, it's not a very exciting conversation. If I go to the store and the only thing I can talk to somebody about is the sales that are going on, that's not a very interesting conversation. So the people that I run into that have been the most intriguing to me and have kind of grabbed my attention and locked me into a conversation are those people that are able to have a conversation about many different things. It doesn't matter what it's about. It could be the stock market, it could be business, it could be taxes, it could be about food. But that allows me to not only be able to communicate with other people, but it doesn't make me look like I'm clueless or lost. And you can find this out very, very quickly when you start talking about people and they don't have anything to talk about. Now, don't get me wrong. Of course, there's inevitably going to be somebody that says, "Well, people just aren't interested in that stuff," and I understand that. That's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is be interesting. Uh, Find something to talk about with everyone. There are different books. I think I kind of sometimes I read books and sometimes I skim them. There was a book I was skimming through on conversation starters. You'd be amazed at how easy it is to start a conversation with somebody and to hold a conversation. Now I'm sure you've met somebody that initially the conversation was going well, and then after that there was nothing. After you got done talking about the one topic, maybe you were at a bar and you talked about, oh man, these drinks are on sale, blah blah blah, and after that was it. So when I talk about books, when I talk about various topics, I don't talk about them to belittle anybody or try to make myself seem superior to anybody. It's just I like to talk about a lot of different things, and that's how my brain works now. Is my brain is stimulated by different topics and different ideas. So again, diversify yourself, because there are a lot of people that will diversify their record album, their Netflix account, their social media outlets, their apps on their phone, but they never diversify what is in here. And if you don't diversify what is in here, that limits the opportunities you have to meet new people. That limits you to opportunities that you may come across. But ultimately, that limits you of being an interesting person to somebody that has just met you. Next time you go out or you meet new people, remember the ones that stick out to you. Yeah, some of them may be humorous, but think about the things you talked about. Think about past relationships you've been into. And think about the topics you guys have talked about. They talk about it all the time when people are dating. Oh, we can talk about anything. Or you may meet your best friend. Man, we could talk about anything. That makes people interesting. Diversify what's in your head and watch how interesting life gets. So that's today's topic. Let that marinate in your head for a couple days. If you have any questions, let me know. But most importantly, boom, right below here, there's a box for you to leave a comment. I want you to leave a comment. I want you to interact with this video. I want to know what you think. Bring up a topic. Here's a good topic that I started getting into. Qualitative physics, I think it is. Let me double check. Let me check my phone here. Quantitative physics, I think it is. Let me just check here right quick. I always forget the word. Quantitative. Yes. The other thing, Google things. If you don't know anything, Google it. Google's the most resourceful tool out there. Use it. This took me 25 seconds to just Google. Quantitative physics. Have a conversation about that with somebody. Vibrational frequencies. Have a conversation about that with somebody. So, as always, I hope you enjoy this week's message. These messages are getting a little bit longer. I'm on 11 minutes right now. I'm starting to enjoy these videos. I've gotten some feedback. Some people have liked that I'm making these videos. It makes them think. But as I've mentioned before, the main reason why I started making these videos because I get tired of writing. And what I mean by that is, I should say blogging. And so I've just turned it into a video blog. And it's an easier way for me to get a lot of the ideas that I have out of my head. Otherwise, I'd go crazy. So, again, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at KOATSC. Got a lot of inspiration, some motivation on there. Sometimes I post really funny videos. At least they're funny to me. I laugh at them. That's all that matters. If I laugh at them, I'm getting a kick. So, anyway, I hope you enjoy this video. And I hope you have a wonderful start to your week. Cheers.